but I'm going to say he should be okay for you today. I think I have him about wide receiver 25 or so, if I'm not mistaken. I think start him if you have to. If you have a couple better options, then I mean go for it. But I think he'll be okay. Probably like 6 for 70 or so.
That's what I was just going to ask. By the way, somebody forgot to click go live, so it started halfway through when you were talking. Just letting you know.
Right.
Okay, so why don't I bring up an early thing here? My roster in our league of record, I have Courtland Sutton.
You do.
So I need to submit my lineup. So I want to know what you would do. It is where we start 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, and 3 flex with the tight end premium scoring. So I have Melvin Gordon. I like him with Lindsey out, so he's going in. Miles Sanders is back, so I'm starting him. Allen Robinson, the man in the back, squeaky wheel game.
Yeah.
Something. Might be the last game we have him in a Bears jersey, so I'm putting it up while I have the chance. Noah Fant, who played really well last week with Sutton out, starting with the tight end premium. And then the last 2 are Corey Davis with A.J. Brown out and Ronald Jones against Carolina. Would you start Courtland Sutton in our half PPR scoring league over any of those guys?
I'd probably start him over Rojo.
See, I really like Carolina being terrible against the run. And it's not Leonard Fournette time yet, so I think that this is a big week for Ronald Jones, especially with Godwin out.
Yeah, I agree. The Carolina run defense is terrible, but there's too many mouths in Tampa Bay there with Fournette and Shady. And I don't know. I think Sutton, like I said, I think Sutton's going to be okay. I mean, I don't think Rojo was a bad play. I think the rest you have to go with. I mean, that was
Corey Davis would be the only other one where you're like,
yeah, I guess. But actually, I like Corey Davis this week because of no AJ Brown.
Yeah, I don't think you like him
Brown
enough.
Playing.
When we get to the rankings, you'll see that you don't like him enough.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have him in DFS too.
Okay, so let's talk Devontae Parker. Is he just out there to be a distraction? Is he below Sutton, above Sutton for you? It looks like you're frozen. Can you speak up? It looks like you've been disconnected. There you are.
Yes.
Hi, welcome back. That's Matt, everyone. He's back.
Hi, thank you. My camera's good today?
No, not anymore. It's now terrible. It was good when we started, but it has gone to Dumpsville.
All right. Well, anyhow, as long as the sound is okay, I guess.
Yeah, the sound is back now. We couldn't hear you for a bit, but welcome back.
Okay. Yeah, so no, to answer your question, I said no, I don't think Parker is a distraction. I think he's out there to be a legitimate player. He's very close to Sutton. The thing I like better about Parker is he's the only option, really. I know there's Preston Williams and
Gesicki. It's a similar situation in both teams.
I think Judy's better and Fant's better.
I think both those players are better, but I also think Sutton is better than Parker. So I think it's literally the poor man's version of the Broncos there with what they have.
Drew Lock is better than Fitzy too.
Depends on the day. Depends what Fitz is doing. Sometimes Fitz is amazing. We have our first question of the day. It is from TS. Thanks for the question. Deontay Johnson or Lamb, PPR?
I'm going Deontay.
I am going to check my rankings on BlueDuckFantasy.com because I don't know what I have off the top of my head. It says PPR. And sorry, you went with who?
I went with Deontay.
It's probably the right answer, but it should be a high-scoring game with Dallas Atlanta.
Yeah. Dallas Atlanta should be high-scoring, yeah, for sure.
I have Lamb 4 spots ahead. You have Deontay 12 spots ahead, and Mr. Black with the tiebreaker has Deontay 2 spots ahead. So it is very close. I think both will probably be pretty much in the same area. I go with Deontay Johnson for more upside, probably. Let's go with that.
You're going against your rankings.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you need.
It happens. I mean,
Deontay Johnson is probably safer and higher upside, but I do think that, I don't really believe in Deontay Johnson as well. So I could easily see a situation where he goes 4 for 43, and yeah. But I can see a situation where Lamb goes like 2 for 16. I can't see Deontay Johnson doing 2 for 16.
Yeah, he had, I think, 10 targets last week.
Deontay?
Mm-hmm. I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it was 10 targets.
All right. We're going to get to some questions we got on Instagram here. First one, and maybe you can make sense of this question. It says, trying to pivot to other options, but DJ Moore in a few and Terry in one, ? Alternates are Lazard, Ant Miller, Logan Thomas, Ant Gibson, and Ayuk. I don't think any of those names he's mentioned are above the other guys.
No, so I don't think so either.
Stick with Moore.
Stick with Terry. I guess he's scared about kind of same thing what we had with McLaurin last week with Slay. It's probably they're worried that Patrick Peterson's probably just going to chase him around the field too.
So we just have another comment here. He's already playing Ridley and Matty Ice in that game, so it's probably best to pivot away from it because you don't need to win by 50. You just need to win. This isn't a DFS play. So, yeah, Deontay Johnson is the start. Although this is pretty advanced strategy to pivot away from a game with the opponent, because if they do well, then the other guy will do well simply because they're going to have to be playing catch-up. It's going to be a high-scoring game is what's expected, but sometimes those flop. Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, Tyron Smith's out for Dallas. That might be a small
guard.
Sorry?
Is that the O-line?
Left tackle, yeah. Stud. I don't think it won't hurt them that much, but it is a little bit of a factor.
Second question from Instagram. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, it is at blueduck.fantasy.football. A lot of content gets posted there. The Mayor 2020 asks, who to start? PPR, full PPR. Jonnu Smith, Zach Moss, Devontae Parker, and in a different league, Jonnu or Chris Herndon. So 2 questions here. I'm guessing you're going to go with Parker in the first one, full PPR?
In the first one, I'm going Parker, yeah.
What about in the second one?
I'm going to go Herndon because there's 0 other players in New York.
You forgetting about Rashad Perriman?
I am not forgetting about Rashad Perriman.
They're playing San Francisco. I much prefer Jonnu with AJ because Jonnu was pretty good on Monday night. So I prefer Jonnu with AJ Brown. He's the second option in the pass game.
Yeah, I mean, I've got them 14 and 15 in my tight end rank, so it's not like a huge gap, but I like Herndon more. Looks like Mr. Black and yourself agree.
Pardon me? I said Parker and Jonnu was my answer, so I went with that.
And I said Parker and Herndon.
Gotcha. I'm going to get you to keep an eye on the comments for me, all right?
All right.
So I can manage the banners. Pardon me?
You seem to get them before I do.
Well, that's because I have YouTube open, so sometimes I will if we have some time. Let's go over Thursday night. A lot happening there. First thing to talk about, Kareem Hunt, one of the players to target for us in the offseason. We told you, get this guy. Number 1, he's a league winner if Chubb goes down, and he's pretty much startable every week in a PPR league, and he has proven just that through 2 weeks. Rest of season, Chubb's value, Hunt's value. Is Chubb's value up, down, even?
Chubb is about where I had him going in.
Yeah, same, because we expected Hunt to take a lot of the work.
Yeah. Hunt is up a bit. My concern with Hunt was that until the fourth quarter last week, I mean, granted he had the touchdown, but before he didn't have a whole lot.
It was all Chubb.
Yeah.
They used a lot of Chubb early on.
Yeah. So that was a bit of a concern, but then Hunt had like 60 yards and a touchdown in the fourth quarter. Yeah. So
I don't think they're going to keep doing the run Chubb out because he wasn't running all that effectively until he got closer to the goal line. Then he was punching it in and having some nice runs. But the middle of the field, they weren't moving the ball really well with him.
We have a question here. Corey Davis, Russell Gage, or Antonio Gibson in a PPR.
That's easy Corey Davis for me.
It's not Gage for sure. I would go Corey Davis too. We didn't see it really from Gibson last week. I'd go Corey Davis.
Yeah, you need to see it from Gibson before you start putting it in. And you didn't see it from Barber either. I don't care what the 2 touchdowns say. What was he, 9 for 7 or 7 for 9? One of the two?
Not very good. But yeah, Corey Davis there, C. Chav. We like
Corey Davis for Chav. So back to Thursday Night Football review. Hunt's value now. Whereabouts are you ranking him rest of season? Where did you start him? Like top 25?
In standard, I would still put him probably outside top 25.
Yeah, not standard. Let's talk PPR here.
PPR.
Everybody prefers PPR now. Standard is dead.
Yeah, well, most of my leagues are still standard.
Get with the times, Matt. Living in the past.
I'm not the commish. PPR, let's say about running back 20 or so.
Now?
Yeah. I had him a little bit lower. You are welcome. That's in response to there you go.
Happy to help out, man. That's what we're here for. We enjoy doing this. That's why we take time out of our day to do this every Sunday. And we love getting the questions. So keep them coming. And I'm just going to go find some draft rankings while Matt talks about OBJ and Jarvis Landry.
Okay. OBJ, we saw it a little bit on Thursday there.
A little bit. One play.
Yeah, he had some okay plays there. He should have had a second touchdown, and he got grabbed. And they
shouldn't have gotten the touchdown that he got because he was down.
I was gonna say I'm not convinced he was in on that, but
no.
But he should have had that second touchdown. He was going to be open, and he literally got grabbed, and Baker threw it at. Yeah, it was disappointing for considering I have him in like 4 leagues. I was a little bit.
Yeah, you're all over him this year.
Pardon me?
You are all over OBJ this year.
Yeah. Well, his value was great in drafts, I thought. So yeah, OBJ, he's going to hover that top 10 wide receiver for me for now until I see otherwise. I think it was more Thursday night was more what you're going to see than you did in week 1. Jarvis is a little bit concerning.
Okay. Dealing with the hip.
Yeah.
Value down a bit.
I think he'll be okay, but he'll be probably about the wide receiver 30-ish range for me.
So
yeah. Down a bit. I have him usually around 25. I'm going to move him down a little bit.
Okay.
Just like I'm moving him down a little bit.
Your Hunt ranking from preseason, you had him at 25. So you think he's up to 20 now, right behind David Johnson?
Yeah, I mean, DJ doesn't have competition.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks about right. I probably have him a bit higher. I probably have him ahead of Ingram as well, who you have there.
Well, Ingram
we'll talk about Ingram in a second, too. We have another question on Instagram. T.Y. Hilton, ballsy sit of the week for me versus scary Terry McLaurin in standard.
Oh, in standard. I'm gonna have to check because I probably have them pretty close.
All right.
You're not on TY at all, but
not on TY at all. So I'm gonna say McLaurin. But I'm curious to say what you think. What you incorrectly think that is.
All right. Weird. Okay. Yeah, I've got TY. TY is 18 for me in standard, and Terry's 26. Did you see Minnesota's defense last week? Their pass defense.
It was against a much better offense.
It was, but I mean, their corners are not very good. TY should be able to take advantage of that a bit. Their run defense looked okay, but yeah, it's going to be interesting with Indianapolis this week with Taylor.
Yeah, and Naheem Hines part of the pass game as well. So let's talk AJ Green, Tyler Boyd. AJ Green, 13 targets, a lot of them not catchable balls. A couple should have had. I thought he should have had the first one. Not sure how he didn't get that foot down, and a couple other ones he should have had. AJ Green, from start of season, is his value up for you or down?
It's up.
Same.
13 targets. Yeah, Burrow's looking his way.
You think he's
even
top
if he only
20?
had 3 catches? What's that?
Top 20? Top 20?
No, not top 20.
Top 25?
Top 25.
Top 25. Okay.
Yeah. I think he's ahead of Boyd right now for me too. But Boyd isn't far behind. Boyd and AJ are going to be like both.
And Landry behind both of them?
Currently, yes.
Okay. I'd probably still want Boyd rest of the season over AJ Green just because of the injury risk. But I
Yeah.
agree. I take both over Jarvis Landry going forward. So now we got to talk about your favorite player, my favorite player, everybody's favorite player, Joey Jojo Mixon. What are we supposed to do with him? I had somebody ask me, and they were like, I think they were considering dropping him. I was like, no. But do you sit him?
That's a bit of a reaction there. I won't sit him because he still had I think about 85 yards, and I just didn't like that they didn't give him the ball much near the goal line. I don't know what was with that. And their offensive line looked awful on Monday or Thursday night.
And they're definitely not going to be passing 60 plus times every week, so expect more carries going forward.
Did you see that I think before his first contact was 0.6 yards on his rushes, on average?
That's not a good sign for the rest of the season, though.
No, but I think they'll get better. I think they'll be a little bit more creative how they get him the ball too. Looks like we got a question here on Standard League. We got Keenan Allen, Corey Davis, or Adrian Peterson. And can you run his fantasy league?
He's obviously asking me and not you, and I'm going to formally say I'm sorry, but I can't. I'm too busy, and you don't want Matt to do it. I think this is Keenan Allen, though, for the question. Yeah. I don't think it's very close. In the Detroit-Green Bay game, I know Adrian Peterson is a nice pick because people think in Standard he's going to run, but they're going to be passing all day. They're going to be behind, and they're going to be playing catch-up. It's going to be the opposite as the game was last week, where they were ahead, and the Bears were playing catch-up. They're going to be the Bears in this situation. And I think Swift will probably see more playing time than Peterson in this game.
Possibly. I think they'll be going heavy on Peterson in the first half anyway and see where the game takes him. Packers are missing Kenny Clark, their stud nose tackle, so that'll open up some run holes probably. So Peterson should be okay. But yeah, when you have Keenan Allen, you can't bench him for Adrian Peterson.
No. And Corey Davis, as much as he's a nice start this week, he's not on Keenan Allen's level.
No. Not in that, no.
Thanks for the question, Stephen Grice. What's up next on the agenda? We're done with Thursday night review. Let's talk this Dynasty team. This is a Dynasty league that we're both in. It's a startup from this year. And I want you to pick my starters in the flex spot. All right. Here's who's currently in there. Scotty Miller and N'Keal Harry. Okay. And here are your choices from who you can have to pick from. Le'Veon Bell, injured.
Yeah.
Rashad Penny, injured.
He was injured when you bought him or drafted him.
Yes, but I have Carson. Equanimus St. Brown, IR. Denzel Mims, IR. George Kittle, out. So would you replace either of them with Darwin Thompson or Chris Conley?
No, I would not.
You go to the practice squad for LaMichael Pirine.
No, just that game is... No, not against the 49ers.
So you're saying I got to start Scotty Miller and N'Keal Harry in week 2 of this Dynasty League. Fantastic.
Yeah, and that's a deep...
Our pleasure, Steven. All right, so let's move on from that awful injury team, and let's talk about my start-sit decisions. I do have a couple. We did one before the show, so we won't do that one now. This is a Dynasty League, half PPR, in the flex currently, and in the super flex. Alan Lazard and Paris Campbell and Ryan Tannehill in the super flex. Let's go with Tannehill first. Any chance you want Cousins or Tyrod Taylor over him with A.J. Brown out?
I would go Cousins, I think.
Okay, I'm going to listen to you this week because I went Tyrod last week, and that did not work out. Although I like Tyrod this week again, too. So, okay, in the flex, Lazard, Campbell. Other options include James White, active Cortland Sutton, Benny Snell. Here's one you're probably going to like, Malcolm Brown. There's also Sterling Shepard and Scotty Miller. And a very interesting play here. I believe he can go in, and that's Dallas Goedert.
Okay, and the starters were Lazard and James White?
Paris Campbell.
Oh, okay. There's too many names there.
Okay, so we'll cross them off as we go.
Yeah.
James White. Would you want James White over either of those against Seattle?
No.
Okay. Would you want Cortland Sutton over either of those guys against Pittsburgh?
I think I'd go Sutton, yeah.
Over which one? Okay, we'll come back to that in case you find another one that you want to go over them. Benny Snell.
No. I think Malcolm Brown, maybe.
Yeah, I would assume you pick Malcolm Brown. What about Sterling Shepard against Chicago?
I'm just checking here. I got Sterling ahead of Lazard.
I just think Sterling's really boring.
He is. But he's got a reasonably high floor.
Yeah, that's safe for sure. See what the matchup is and let me know if it wants me to win or lose. It says I'm going to lose by 6. And I've had Landry and Beckham go already. He has not had anybody. So I got about 10 points from each of them.
Yeah. I'd go Lockett or Sutton over Lazard. I've got Campbell ahead of Lazard here. I'm looking.
I'm not taking Campbell out. It didn't matter what you said.
Okay.
So your choice, Malcolm Brown, Shepard, or Sutton, or Scotty Miller.
Brown if you need the safe play.
I don't think I need the safe play.
I think Malcolm Brown out of all those, honestly.
All right, Cortland Sutton it is. Thanks for the help, Matt.
No problem.
Always appreciated. Hopefully that's saved. So let's move on to your start-sit decisions. Do you have any?
I have one.
Okay.
And it is a very poor choice decision like yours here.
Yeah, well, you have poor teams, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so we got for a flex, we've got N'Keal Harry.
Boo.
Kerryon Johnson.
Boo.
Galladay's out. Brandon Cooks. Darrell Henderson. Or Mecole Hardman. This is standard.
Standard?
Yeah.
I'll go with Mecole Hardman.
Okay, I'll put him in. That way I can blame me if I lose.
We all had Mecole Hardman really low, but I mean, he's the upside play, and none of those other plays have any type of safety to them whatsoever. Like Cooks is a huge risk. Harry, who knows what he's going to do? Kerryon, so I'm going to go with the one who has the highest ceiling because he can catch, especially in standard, you can catch a 6-yard pass for a touchdown, and then you're dancing.
Cooks has a high
literally
ceiling.
Sit up and dance. What?
I said Cooks has a high ceiling too.
But we haven't seen what his role is there. We know Mecole's role is go deep. Go deep. Yeah. Are you deep enough? Now go deeper.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the Steelers running backs. Benny Snell, James Conner. James Conner is playing, even though no one expected him to. Benny Snell was a very popular pick on the waiver wire this week. I have him back-to-back in my rankings. Do you want to play either of them? They're around the 30 spot. So standard league flex, about the only spot where either of them can enter your lineup. And even then, you're not happy that you have to flex them, but that's the only spot you would see them. They can't start them at running back. If you drafted Conner, hopefully you got Snell, but in this case today, it doesn't help you anyways because they're just going to take away from each other.
Yeah, it sounds like they're going to be like almost a split backfield now. I mean, of the two, I would play Conner.
Interesting.
That would be the way I'd go. I mean, maybe that's just because you're using a third, fourth round pick on him or whatever you used. But yeah, he's around running back 30. I don't disagree with your ranking there. I was going to say beforehand, I put them around between running back 30 and 35, both of them.
Okay, so you went Conner as the higher play this week. Do you remember when this happened last week?
Yes, I do.
Tariq Cohen's 6.4 points was more than what Conner could get.
Well, I thought that Conner would play at least more than one quarter.
And that was a huge mistake. Are you thinking he's going to play more than one quarter this week when he comes in injured already?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
He's going to make it to half.
Bold prediction today. Hot take. James Conner plays an entire half of football. Wow. Hot take here. This is why I got to watch the show. We have these hot takes from Matt every week. Anyways, let's just jump into our rankings fight. As we said, neither of these guys are great starts. They're not great flexes, but if you have to flex one in a standard league, go for it. But don't be happy about it.
Are you taking Conner or Snell if you have to pick one?
And yeah, Conner over Snell. But it to me, like I said, I have them 30 and 31.
Yeah.
So in a standard, I'd probably go Snell over Conner. In any type of PPR, I'd probably go Conner over Snell. Snell had 117 yards last week, something like that.
Something.
He
did really well.
Makes me excited for Montgomery today, which is why he's in my DFS lineup.
I'm starting there's a start sit for you. I have It's not that close. I had Montgomery in our league of record there. Montgomery over Darius Slayton.
Yeah, I mean, I like Montgomery this weekend. Slayton's hard to predict, but let's hop into this rankings fight as we don't have any questions right now. We're going to start with number 1, Malcolm Brown. Matt, both you and Mr. Black have him as a top 25 running back this week in PPR. I have him outside of that 33, not even in the high flex, in the low flex area. And I'm going to explain to you why. This is a hot hand committee. And last week, Malcolm Brown looked real good. You know when else Malcolm Brown looked real good? Week 1, 2019.
Yeah.
And what did he do after that?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot. I was getting trade offers for him because I had picked him up in our Yahoo League. And I was like, no, I need a running back. So unless you're going to give me a running back, I don't have any interest in trading him because I'm good at wide receiver.
I'm certain I picked him up in our Yahoo League.
Not at the auction. I eventually ended up dropping him.
Oh, I see. Last year. Okay.
Yeah. Last year, week 1, we had somebody in our Yahoo League asking me what I wanted for him. I was like, well, I need a running back, so you'd have to trade me a running back. And they just didn't have any running backs that would work in that trade. So it's going to be a hot hand.
I traded Malcolm Brown this morning, actually.
In your other Yahoo or this Yahoo?
In one of my Yahoos, because that was the league I just traded for George Kittle, and I said I needed a tight end.
Oh, you finally got the deal done.
I ended up trading for Hawkinson.
You traded Malcolm Brown straight up for Hawkinson.
Yeah. I was dropping Malcolm Brown this morning for a different tight end if I didn't.
Who was your number 1 waiver wire? So I like it. I like it. I wish you could have gotten a better tight end, but Hawkinson works really well for your team.
I tried. With Galladay out, I was like, okay, well, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think he's a good play this week too. Yeah. And he has like high upside, so he could potentially end up a trade target with you having George Kittle, who should be back week 3. Number 2 on this list, Sony Michel. Matt, you have him at
probably way down.
Not sure where because I wrote the wrong number down. But why don't you look that up for me?
Okay, I will pull that up there for you.
And while you're doing that, let's talk about Tevin Coleman, who you have at 32. Or Mr. Black and I have him outside of the top 45. So you have him in the mid to low flex. What is it about Tevin Coleman that you like when we saw Jerick McKinnon get some work last week and look better than him with that work? I get the air quality issue last week.
I think Coleman's better than Jerick McKinnon for starters. I think
they play a different role, though, on this offense. One's more the pass catcher and the other is the runner. I
don't trust Raheem Mostert as like a bona fide bell cow guy either, though. I think Coleman and him are more of a spelling situation. They're gonna be more split than him and McKinnon.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be a blowout, probably.
But the Jets, they're playing the Jets, right?
Yeah.
The Jets were pretty good against the Buffalo running backs last week. They did not give them a lot of yards on the ground. But I think both those guys were averaging like under 2 yards a carry. Moss caught a touchdown, but other than that, they weren't doing much on the ground.
Well, I would put, Coleman would be a little bit lower because I think I forgot on to put Connor ahead of him. But yeah, so he'd probably be like 33. But
so you would start James Conner over him.
Yeah.
Okay, and Benny Snell as well.
Flip a coin.
Okay. You want to flip a coin on JJ Walsh's question here? Because that's not the type of analysis we do here, Matt. Sutton or Davis? That's Corey Davis. Cortland Sutton. I don't think it matters what the scoring is, whether it's PPR or standard. It's Davis for me.
Is it really?
It is. I really like Corey Davis this week. We're going to get to him in a bit. I have him inside the top 30.
Sutton and for me
I don't believe, like, even in my lineup that we talked about for my team in our league of record, I'm starting Davis over Sutton.
That's right.
So yeah, it is Davis for me. It is Sutton for Matt. I'm just going to go with the person who had over 100 yards last week. I think somebody told me he had over 100 yards this morning. So Corey Davis with AJ Brown out. I like. Matt likes Cortland Sutton in a riskier, higher upside play. Another question here. Thanks JJ Walsh for the question. MN Sizzle 1. John Brown or Corey Davis? That is Corey Davis for me.
That's close.
You see Corey Davis back there? He's sneaking up. He's comeback season. Season.
I know I have John Brown higher, but that was when I wasn't. I think that was more. I don't know. I think I forgot to update him after AJ Brown.
My goodness, what do I pay you for?
You get what you pay for. I'm going to say Corey Davis as well.
They are playing Miami. I expect the running backs to get right in this game. I don't expect Josh Allen to have to throw that much.
Yeah. Why is Russell Gage at a 0 for me?
And apparently he's not on your list. Like I said, we need to update your list. There's no need to bring that up during the show. So Corey Davis for both of us, it is unanimous. I'm guessing that's Minnesota Sizzle 1. It is going to be Corey Davis.
Yeah.
Back to the ranking fight. Pardon me?
The man in the back.
The man in the back who's sneaking up. I mean, we talked about last year. He was getting a good pick preseason, and then he changed quarterbacks. And then A.J. Brown delivered with the new quarterback, and he dealt with a foot injury. I can't remember, foot injury all season long that he played through. He's a good player. He's a first-round pick for a reason. He's going to end up on the Packers next year. Matt's pretty excited about that. You can see by the Packers merch hanging in the background of the shot. So let's talk about a couple tight ends. One that you just talked about, T.J. Hawkinson, who you have ranked as high as 8th this week, while Mr. Black and I both have him outside the top 10. You do like to play, as you mentioned, with Kenny Golladay out. He is the second option, you think? First option?
Yeah. I think Marvin Jones is probably still option number 1.
What about Danny Amendola?
What about him?
What about DeAndre Swift? He's got some good hands. He can catch all the passes that you throw at him.
Yeah, not over Hawkinson. Sorry. I think, and I think that he had a good week last week, but he did that to us last year on week 1.
Malcolm Brown. He's got Malcolm Brownitis.
Deshaun Jacksonitis.
Deshaun Jacksonitis. That's the one. Yeah. Okay. So again, I don't mind the ranking. I do think he's a high upside play with the lineups that's going on. But let's talk about another tight end, a tight end that I hate who looked absolutely awful on Monday night, and that's Evan Ingram, the New York Giants. Looked like he couldn't catch a cold. I have him ranked as 12th. This is a person who's like a perennial top 5, top 6 guy. You have him in the top 5 spot. Mr. Black has him top 8. My question to you is, did you watch the Monday Night Football game against the Steelers?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I watched most of it, yeah.
Okay.
That's 6 days ago. Don't ask me what I did then.
Okay. So Matt clearly didn't watch the game, because if you did watch the game, you would not be as excited as Evan Ingram putting him as number 5. Clearly, you're just going by what your draft rankings were. And you need to watch the Giants game today. That's the game you should watch.
Yeah, it is. TJ Hawkinson lit up the Bears. Why can't Evan Ingram?
Okay, that's your rationale. Good enough.
Let's
talk about your worst ranking of the week, and that's Christian Kirk. You have him top 36, a start, and 3 wide receiver sets.
Why is that bad?
Because I have him 56, and Mr. Black has him 45, and you have him over Corey Davis.
I told you Corey Davis.
By that?
Corey Davis, we can't.
Okay, so I won't bring up Corey Davis. Let's move on to Marquise Brown, somebody who I have in my DFS lineup, but have ranked barely inside the top 40, while you guys have them both around 25. And the real reason I have him this low is because I need to see it. Show me that the work you did in the offseason is going to actually pay off, that the offense is going to look your way, and that you're not just going to be the spottiest of spotty contributors like you were last year. So until he starts doing that on a consistent basis, he's going to be a high upside flex play in a standard league for me, or if I'm really stuck during the bye weeks. Until then, he's not getting into the lineup.
100 yards. So, last week. I know he did that a few times last year. I think that's...
Yeah, week 1. He's usually pretty good week 1. He's got the itis.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that for a little bit more consistency out of him this year. Again, I have him 27. That's not super high, but... yeah.
No, but that's around where he was all last year, and then he wouldn't do it, and then he slowly moved down.
Yeah.
I need to see it. Give me 2 good weeks, and then I'll start putting you top 30 every week.
But you're right. He is the kind of guy that you want in a DFS, because he could go off and get
perfect 3 touchdowns. I have him and Fuller in the same lineup. I win if they go off. It's over.
Well, a lot of people like Fuller this week.
You don't like Fuller?
That's a lot of people do.
No. Question from Chad the Man Coleman. Says, morning, boys. Davis, Naheem Hines, Jerry Jeudy. I'm going to guess that's Lamar Miller. Yes. What? Anthony Miller?
Anthony.
Yeah, 2 of those 4, standard scoring, no PPR. I think that Hines isn't the type of running back that you look at and think standard, he's good. These all might as well be wide receivers. For sure, Corey Davis for me.
Yeah. I'm going to say Miller.
I am not. He is 4th for me. Didn't play too many snaps last week.
Year.
I'm going to go with Hines. I think Hines seems the field a lot more. And I know Judy probably should be the play, but Sutton is there, so his targets will probably go down a bit. And he didn't do anything much with Sutton out. So I think Davis and Hines for me. Davis and Miller for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It would be Hines next and then Judy. Hines, if it's PPR, no question, Hines.
Yes. Thanks for the question, Chad. So let's talk about John Brown, who I have at number 44 behind Marquise Brown. You have him at 33, Mr. Black, 36. So these are top 3 wide receivers. If you're starting 3 wide receivers, is what I'm trying to say, if the words come out right properly. John Brown, I think against Miami, they're just going to run a lot. They're going to get that running game right. Diggs will get his targets. John Brown, not so much. I don't think what happened last week with both of them having good games is going to happen that often. It's going to happen, but it's not going to be a every week thing.
But John Brown's good game last week also came from, and it's funny I'm making this point because I have him higher, but he had that one big catch there. It was like a screen type play, and he got I can't remember how many yards, but it was a long touchdown.
He scored some points last year at the quarterback position as well.
What's that?
I think he threw for a couple touchdowns.
Yeah. I've got him at 33 here. It's going to change to 34 because Corey Davis went ahead of him. But he's okay for a number 3 wide receiver. I think he'll probably still get you your 60-ish yards. Maybe if he gets a touchdown, great, but I wouldn't count on it.
Okay, so let's talk about Michael Gallup, who I said I didn't like last week, and then he played really well. So now I'm on him. Top 25 for me and Mr. Black. Top 35 for you. Still not cracking that lineup for you, even in this high-scoring game?
He's 26 for you. So
yeah, top 25-ish. All right.
Okay. Let's see here. I'm just looking at the names above him, and I'm going to stick with this. I don't like any of the. Don't like him better than any of these guys. I do agree it's going to be high scoring.
Yeah.
But I'm looking. I would rather have Parker, Marvin Jones without Galladay. I like that. Mike Williams because I think LA is going to have to throw. Emmanuel Sanders, no Michael Thomas. Will Fuller. We just talked about him. Should be okay.
Yeah, I have Will Fuller, and then Sanders is one spot behind him. I think some of the names, like Devontae Parker, is where I tend to disagree with you. And even Slayton. Slayton, to me, is close. And, of course, I didn't like Marquise Brown. We're running low on time. We got about 20 minutes left, so I'm going to go to a couple of players that we have the hugest discrepancies on, and fortunately, they're up next. Number 1, T.Y. Hilton, who we touched on earlier, so we're not going to talk about him. So we'll talk about Mike Williams, who I have as 18 this week. This is going to be a shootout. For some reason, I keep remembering that one big game he had against KC 2 years ago, late in the season, when I'm aware Keenan Allen was out. But I just keep thinking he looked really good last week too. Like he was making catches, diving all over the ground, and he didn't get hurt. That was the most important thing. Yes. He came out of it healthy, and he still might have that week 1-itis where he can still go week 1 full.
Do you hold your breath when he dives for a ball though?
I did for AJ Green all Thursday night. Oh, yeah. The first play when he got up slow was like, oh my God, no, get up. Oh, I didn't watch enough of the Chargers game to do that, but I did see him on the ground a lot, and I was worried the times that I did see him on the ground. But to me, the issue with him is his back. So when he hits the ground, it's an issue. But with AJ Green, it's always foot stuff. So unless he's cutting weird, it's all going to be non-contact for him. So afterwards, I was like, oh, whenever he dives on the ground, he'll be fine. He can take some bumps and bruises, but just don't twist anything. Don't run too hard.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's gonna end up being some sort of shootout. It's just
45-31.
It's Tyrod. I don't. They're not putting up 31 points. They put up 24, and that's with a lot of late scoring.
Another question from Chad the Man Coleman. Slayton, Sutton, CD need 1.5 PPR. I got to go Slayton here. It's just it's safe enough that Sutton doesn't come into the picture.
I would go Sutton. It kind of depends. If you need the bigger play, I'd say Sutton. I know you disagree.
Did you not see what Slayton did last week?
Yeah.
Slayton's a big play type of threat.
He is. No,
I mean, I guess if you're a Giants fan, you probably got to go with Slayton. But
it's really
if you think the Giants suck like Matt does, you probably go with Sutton. I think that's the correct answer right there.
I think it's really close. I almost want to say Sutton has the higher floor.
That could be, but it's probably not that much higher. It's like 60 to 40 yards.
Yeah.
To me, it's Slayton, and to me, it's not really close. I'm not taking a player who missed week 1, which was on a Monday night, and is playing 6 days later.
Yeah, I mean, he got hurt like late in the week, like Thursday or Friday. I think it's Thursday last week.
It is a shoulder.
Yeah.
So it's not something that's going to be overly affected to him. This is a shoulder.
Yes.
This is a nose, ear.
Just going to write that down. Hold on.
Okay. Finally, Hines, Swift, or Snell need one, half PPR. Hines?
Yeah, Hines for me.
Although I do like Swift, but you have the Hines is a better option. If you were stuck, I'd be pretty excited about starting Swift, or at least I'd feel pretty good about it because I think they're going to be trailing a lot that game. And I think the coach is an idiot, and he probably is going to try to force the ball to Swift to be like, see, he can catch. I wasn't stupid to throw it to him at the end of the game. So they might force some targets his way. But Hines is going to get more targets. Hines is going to perhaps have the big role today with Jonathan Taylor, the rookie, in. He was ahead of him in week 1 before Mac went out. So they did plan to use him. Hines for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Attack him.
Rashad Perryman, I have a top 34. Matt, you have him outside the top 50. Not believing he's the only show in town, but you like Herndon.
I like Herndon a lot more than Rashad Perryman. I mean, I get Richard Sherman's out, but I mean, no, 49ers pass rush is going to be too much. So he's going to have to get rid of the ball quick. It's not Rashad Perryman's type of game for me.
Chasing points, throwing bombs. I feel like it sets up nicely for him, but that's fine. We're trying to go through this quickly. We still got Sunday Showdown. Another question: PPR flex, DJ Chark or Will Fuller? It's DJ Chark. He's the better play. He's the safer play. Even though he didn't have the best week 1, they played really well and were very efficient with the football. I don't expect that to be the case. Minshew isn't going 19 for 20 every week, so expect DJ Chark to get more volume. If
you need like 30 points, then I'd go Fuller.
Yeah. If your entire team is injured and you need a miracle, then yeah, throw in Fuller. But the PPR also hurts him because you'll probably have 4 for 240 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Last one I wanted to talk about, DK Metcalf, somebody who I have outside the top 30. You both have him inside the top 20. I just think with New England this week, they know he's a threat, and they know that they don't want to let him beat him. They'll let Lockett get the underneath stuff, and they will not let DK take the top off the defense and let him go deep for easy scores. So I don't particularly care for him this week. Similar to what I said about Marquise Brown, you got to kind of do it more than just once. You have to show me that you can be a consistent contributor and not just the one-time hit.
You think Gilmore's going to just follow him?
Pardon me?
You think Gilmore's just going to follow him around?
I don't even think that they have to do that. I think that they can put Gilmore on Lockett and just have the safety cover over the top, because it's not like DK Metcalf is a fantastic route runner. He has one good route. It's go deep, be bigger and faster than the next guy. So I think they can double cover him and have Gilmore work on Lockett. And this is hopefully a Chris Carson game because all my Chris Carson shares. Yeah. Question time. Flex option, half PPR from Ron Turntables. DK Metcalf, Adrian Peterson, DeAndre Swift, Henry Ruggs. Got to go with DK.
Yeah, I agree for sure. But it's just funny. You just told me why you shouldn't play him.
Yeah, but I still have him close to the top 30. I don't have any of these other guys near the top 30, especially Ruggs.
Yeah.
So you agree, DK Metcalf for Ron Turntables?
Next, there's another one here.
Morning, gents, from Trey S. 2 questions. Full PPR, Melvin Gordon against a stout defense or James White failing at being the next CMC? Also, Big Ben or Wentz. Melvin Gordon for me, absolutely. Yep. With no Lindsey, it's volume. It's a volume play. You saw what Saquon was not able to do last week, and that was run the ball. But what he was able to do was catch some passes. And Melvin Gordon, a fantastic pass catcher out of the backfield, is going to catch some passes with full PPR. Love Melvin Gordon. James White, none of the New England running backs had over 35% of the snaps last week. So that is the ugliest committee in the NFL right now.
Oh, yeah.
Big Ben or Wentz is an interesting question. We have Big Ben playing.
He's Denver.
Okay.
And
Wentz is against the Rams.
I have Ben ahead of at 11 and Wentz at 12. So
and what do I have?
You got Ben at 14 and Wentz at 13.
So it's a really close call.
Yeah.
I guess we're going to go with Matt's great advice, which is flip a coin.
I go Ben.
But I think Big Ben, it looked pretty safe last week, so I think he's the safer play.
And I just think, the Phillies O-line is getting back Lane Johnson, but that O-line wasn't great against Washington. And
they might want to work Miles Sanders more into the game this week too, because he's there. True. So could be more running ball. So let's go with Big Ben on that one. Trey S. Thanks for the question. Ron Turntables, thanks for the advice. First time watching, you guys came through. Subscribe. Thanks, Ron. Really appreciate it. Hit that like, subscribe. I never mentioned that because we just get way too into fantasy football and don't really care about the metrics and doing anything. Adam Flynn with a question. Full PPR flex, Corey Davis or Tariq Cohen? Corey Davis for sure.
I'm going Davis, yeah.
Yeah, Tariq Cohen, who Matt absolutely shit on last week, beat his James Conner in the bet of ages, making me the undisputed bet champion. No bet this week so far. No. Maybe you have one with T.Y. Hilton or something. Yeah, Corey Davis for Adam. But it is time. The time has come for the fastest growing game in NFL fantasy. It's the Sunday Showdown. Matt, can you see it this week?
I can make it out enough, yeah.
Does this block you from seeing it?
That I can't see the bottom half of. There you go.
Got you. All right, so last week I let you win again.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Treyas. See you next week. Adam, you're welcome. Have a great day. Enjoy the games. We'll see you next week. So would you like to pick first or pick second? I have done no research because that is how you do it, and that is how you win every week. So I don't even know who's on this board. I just did it quick. Didn't even look. I have no idea. I forgot because I did it yesterday midday.
Okie doke. Let's go. I let you pick first last week.
And that worked out for you?
I'm going to let you pick first again.
Okay. And I will go with Aaron Rodgers.
I like the pick. That's who I was going to pick if I stayed up number one as well. But I like some of the other names out here as well.
On you.
Okay. What's that?
It's on you.
Okay. I will give her... those are weak running backs in B.
I know you want this. It's in your DFS lineup. Former quarterback.
I'm gonna give me Carson and Chris Carson in B.
See, again, I didn't even know he was there.
Yeah.
Just talked about how it was going to be a good game for him.
And I will take let's go DJ Chark in B as well.
All right, going for good value. These are guys that could be in the A. I think Chris Carson was probably in the A last week.
He sure was.
So, running back, wide receiver, you've taken 2 Bs. We need 4 Bs. Does that sound right?
Yeah, 2, 4, and 2.
All right, so my strategy is to take a look to see what's in the C.
What is going on?
I'm just trying to make it so everything fits. Okay, so I see someone in the C that I'm going to be happy with.
Yeah, I like that pick too.
Sterling Shepard. I don't see anybody else in the C that I like. But am I okay with you giving me a player from the C out of what's left? No, but I will come back to the C later. So you haven't picked any A's yet, so I should probably get on picking some A's. Dalvin Cook at Indy, Zeke, Derrick Henry. You know what? Why don't you give me this? So I'm going to make it so you don't have to pick any of the quarterbacks or tight ends.
Ooh, hey, that was your very first pick last week.
We have a question before you go. It is Mike Williams, Darius Slayton, Devin Singletary, Chris Carson, Devontae Parker, Miles Sanders. Choose 3. KJW Watkinson. Can you please tell us the scoring? Is it PPR? Is it non-PPR? Is it half PPR? while we're waiting for that, we'll go to the next question from Ray Gamer, who has Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, DJ Chark, Malcolm Brown, start 2 for standard.
Ooh.
Woods for sure, I think.
I'm gonna go.
That's a lot of Rams.
Yeah, those are all. I like those. I like all of them, honestly.
Yeah, it's just. I think you have to like. Can you go both Rams receiver? I think you go Woods and Chark just to kind of split it up a bit. But like Woods and Kupp is an okay play as well. Again, I mentioned how much I don't like Malcolm Brown. Matt's going to tell you that he does like Malcolm Brown, and he'll put a case for him. But I think that you're lowering your possible total with Robert Woods and Kupp because they're probably not both going to have big games. So if you're in a close matchup, you could end up losing because of that. So I go Robert Woods and DJ Chark.
Actually, I agree. I double-checked my rankings to confirm, but yeah, those are the 2 I've got too.
So even in standard, not going Malcolm Brown?
Even in standard, I'm not going Malcolm Brown. If the wide receivers were slightly weaker, I'd lean towards the running back there. But
yeah, in most cases, that'd be correct. But I'd probably even take Cooper Kupp over Malcolm Brown because I don't like him. Maybe you would disagree. But DJ Chark and Robert Woods is the answer for Ray Gamer. Best of luck today. And we're still waiting on this. Let's see if we can maybe figure this out, regardless of scoring system.
Chris Carson for sure in. Sander and Carson, I think, are regardless.
Yahoo Public League scoring. So that's standard?
I'm not 100% sure. It might be half. I think Yahoo switched to half.
Okay, Chris Carson for sure.
I got Sanders for sure.
Devin Singletary for sure not.
Yeah. I wouldn't say Parker either.
I would say Parker for sure not.
Yeah. Sanders, Carson, and I'm gonna go. Oh, that's super close. I'm gonna go Slayton, but I don't mind Mike Williams either.
Yeah, it's Carson, Sanders, and Mike Williams going off today. But Slayton also not a bad pick. Full PPR now.
Full PPR, okay. I think it's the same.
It's the same. I think both Mike Williams and Darius Slayton aren't the best PPR guys, so that doesn't affect that. Yeah. Carson caught a lot of passes last week, which was surprising. Not really his style of play.
But he didn't run it much either.
No, he didn't. It was I don't know. Maybe they're trying to just put weird looks because they knew they had the Patriots coming up. Like, oh, is this what they're going to do?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, the easy win. Back to the Sunday Showdown. Thanks for the questions, KJW Watkinson. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. We are here every Sunday, 1 hour before kickoff, answering all the questions, going over our ranking discrepancies, and playing the fastest growing game in fantasy football history, the Sunday Showdown, a game that I let Matt win every week.
Yeah, I'm going to take Ezekiel Elliott.
Mm-hmm.
And put him on my team, please.
Oh. Caught me trying to cheat again.
Yeah. And I will also go with I'm going to go with
is not on the list.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. I'm going to go I'll go Slayton.
Darius Slayton. I don't need a running back, so
why not? You're gonna go with running backs.
Chosen 2, so I don't need to pick one right now.
We said Mike Williams, but we like them both. KJW Watkinson, but Mike Williams.
Yeah, Mike Williams is the pick there for KJW Watkinson over Slayton, but Slayton is not a bad option either. But Williams for us. I am going to go with Paris Campbell. Probably going to lose me this week. And I am going to... What do I want to do here? I'm fine with you giving me whoever you want. Do I want any of these running backs? Yes. I don't need to pick a running back. Can I really pick Allen Robinson over Julio Jones? No.
Yeah, I picked Adams over Thomas last week.
One more question. Melvin Gordon or Benny Snell PPR?
Melvin Gordon.
Z, that's Melvin Gordon. Matt, you agree?
Yes, Melvin Gordon. Can you not hear?
Melvin Gordon over Benny Snell with James Conner playing today. They're likely going to split. Benny Snell is one of the worst PPR running backs in terms of pass catching. I don't believe he even had a target last week, but he did have 100-plus yards on the ground on like 16, 17 carries, so very good runner. Mm-hmm. Not on the hands team, though.
Okay. So
you need an A, 2 C's, and a B.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Watson.
I'm also going to go with Deshaun Watson, who is in my DFS lineup against Baltimore. I'm expecting some garbage time, similar to last week when he did really well in garbage time and got some points against the KC Chiefs. And Newton I actually read that as Wilson, and I still would have went to Sean. But yeah, Cam's not on this level, and that's Seattle D gave up a lot of points last week, but they were up by 400, so they didn't really care.
Yeah, I think Seattle D is a little underrated, and Newton was saved by 2 rushing touchdowns. And let's go put my money where my mouth is with Cortland Sutton. And it doesn't really matter which order I go in. Let's go Phillip Rivers.
Good pick. I like that, but I don't think I'd take him over Tannehill.
No, you would not. No, yes, you would.
Yeah,
you would. Yep. According to your rankings, anyway.
Yeah. So I guess it's on me.
It is.
And I need 2 running backs.
Yeah.
And I will take Cook. What are you laughing about?
That you highlighted Cam Akers first.
Yeah, well, I do need another C player, and I don't. Oh, sorry. This is who I wanted. I forgot he was. Like I said, I did absolutely no looking into. Please don't look at my ranking on Julian Edelman because he should be in my lineup, but he's just not going to be. That was a PPR, not a half PPR play. Yeah. So it is time for you to pick your tight end and my flex.
I will pick a little bit of Barf, the Jimmy Graham.
Called it.
What, that I'd Barf or that I'd pick Jimmy Graham?
That you picked Jimmy Graham over. Well, I guess you can't pick Logan Thomas. You only had C or A left.
Yeah. And let's see. You need a C player from me, do you?
Yep. One of these.
Okie doke.
Last week, your pick for me was one of my highest scoring players. Thank you, Joshua Kelly. Although if you'd given me Adam Thielen like you initially did, it would have done even better and still lost by a lot. Because I try to do as worst as I possibly can in order for you to win, to feel good about yourself as payment for all your help.
Let's give you... I'm going to gamble a little bit. I'm going to give you... Nope. Not getting Peterson. Nope. Not getting Russell Gage either. That's one of the ones I'm thinking of. It's going to be...
Did you know Myles Gaskin had more snaps than Howard and Breda combined last week?
That seems kind of weird. There's a quick question there. Was this one... was this PPR? I think so, right?
We haven't seen this guy before. This is Varun Vendantam. Yes, he said PPR flex, DJ Chark or Fuller. Sorry, my bad. Pick 2, Fuller, Chark, Moore. More Chark. Yeah, more and Chark. Did you want to give me... Okay, so you said more? Okay, so I'll get more as my flex.
Funny. You're funny.
Thanks for the question, Varun.
Okay, move that thing. Let's give you Jordan Howard.
And we're going to give you from the A.
I get a C. Or sorry, I get an A, yeah.
I'm sorry, you get a C? Okay.
No, I get an A.
Come on, Tampa Bay corners.
I was okay with all those A players, like honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really tough pick to give you someone bad there. But I was okay with all of those C players, which is why I went that way.
Glad we agree. All right. So anybody that's watching there, we've got Aaron Rodgers, Dalvin Cook, Devin Singletary. Oh, never mind. No, I can't read that.
My bad.
Aaron Rodgers, Dalvin Cook, Devin Singletary, Sterling Shepard, Paris Campbell, Julio Jones, Hayden Hurst, and Jordan Howard for Ben. For myself, Philip Rivers, Chris Carson, Ezekiel Elliott, DJ Chark, Cortland Sutton, Darius Slayton, Jimmy Graham, and DJ Moore.
All right. And as part of the even week, since it is week 2, what we'll be doing is switching teams. Because I like your team a lot more, and I'm taking it.
No.
My team is not very good.
Not going to happen.
All right. So let's see who wins this week in the Sunday Showdown. Anyways, It is time for football. That's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't, subscribe. It helps us out. And we'll be back next week, 1 hour before kickoff, to do this all over again.
Yep. Thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy the week.